When the doctor tells me I have late-stage lung cancer, I get so thrilled I actually lick the hospital bathroom. My whole life has been bitter and exhausting, starting with school bullies. My bosses targeted me and my wife despised me after we got married. Dying early would be a total relief, but my bad luck never ends. Now I am accused of being a thief and a perverted creep. They think I take secret subway photos, even in a park restroom. Some guy tries to scam me. Fine, let it all burn. No one gets to be happy. I leave the hospital, my diagnosis echoing in my mind. I wander the streets in a complete daze, wondering how to ask my wife for a divorce. Suddenly a loud ringtone cuts through the air. A phone is sitting on a roadside bench. I walk over and answer the video call. A face fills the screen shouting, "Listen up. Stealing anything over 2,000 yen will put you in prison. I already recorded your face, so do not try to run. Bring my phone back right now." This phone costs 15,000 yen. I am stunned. This heavy woman actually thinks I stole it. I tell her I did not steal her phone, she just dropped it. When she threatens the police, my old fear of trouble kicks in. I patiently explain, but she screams, "My phone did not just fall out. You think I am stupid? Bring it now, no excuses. Why are there so many idiots in this world?" I frown, about to keep explaining when a man's face appears on screen. He barks, "You better listen up. That phone is my girlfriend's gift, last chance if you do not bring it over." Suddenly, something inside me snaps. My mood was already terrible, and now I am framed as a thief. I hurl the phone into the middle of the road. Cars roll over it, grinding it into shattered junk. Watching it get pulverized, I feel a surge of joy I have not felt in 20 years. Something finally lets go. To hell with everything. For my remaining 6 months, I am living for myself. I head home where my wife comes out in a bathrobe. She frowns. "Why are you home early?" "Bring me the hairdryer. I am going out drinking tonight. Oh, and make me some millet porridge." Saying nothing, I quietly grab the hairdryer to hand it to her. She does not even hide her disgust. "Get away from me, wash your face, and rinse your mouth." Smoking again, I told you never to step inside this apartment after smoking without washing up first. Suddenly loud music blares. "You are my little apple. How could I love you more?" The massive speaker is at it again. It is the neighborhood seniors doing their daily plaza dancing, and they keep dancing late into the night every single evening. Neighbors have complained and even called the police, but nothing works. Once hoping they would lower the volume, I bought cases of soda and gave them to these dance kings and queens. They drank the soda, sold the empty bottles, and danced even louder. Tonight, I am absolutely done. I walk into the storage room and emerge with a heavy iron hammer in my hand. Vivian looks at me with pure contempt. "Wimp, you act tough, but always chicken out when it matters. Go smash those speakers, and I will do whatever you want tonight." I swing the hammer, feeling its heavy weight, then I open the door. Vivian only sees my back, but she feels something is off. This coward seems like a completely different person. Leaving her wet hair, she rushes to the balcony, hoping to watch me get humiliated so she can mock me later. I head downstairs. At the building entrance sit several large fruit boxes and 6 12-liter jugs of purified water. It all belongs to Lily from the 9th floor. The moment Lily spots me, she orders, "Carry this fruit and water into the elevator. Put it in my kitchen and stack it neatly. Do not touch my fridge." The old me could never say no, so she always ordered me around. I lift my iron hammer and glare at her. "Carry it yourself." Lily is furious. "I am a woman. How can you make me carry this?" "Are you insane? We are neighbors, just helping each other." "How can you be so selfish? Get your husband to move it and stop guilt-tripping me." I snap. "Do you even have a brain? My husband works so hard. Can a wife not show some love for her husband?" Unbelievable. I ignore her. I have bigger things to do. A few steps later, I reach the plaza dancers. 2 2-foot-tall wooden speakers are blasting at maximum volume, packed with power. The small garden feels like a loud concert. Without a word, I walk over and yank the power cord. The music stops instantly. The seniors dancing their hearts out freeze. No music, no fun dancing. They are furious. "What are you doing?" Plug it back in. A few recognize me from the sodas I gave them, so they expect me to comply. I smile, pull out the hammer, and swing. You will find out in a second. Crack. The hammer slams into the speaker. The crowd freezes, then erupts in screams. "Are you insane? Stop. You will pay for this." My speaker cost hundreds, but I do not stop. With a few heavy swings, I smash the speakers to pieces and destroy the player. I stomp on the wreckage. So satisfying. So cathartic. I grin at them. "Now you know why I came." They are furious. The angrier they get, the better I feel. I used to be the one boiling with rage, but now it is their turn. A few rush me, looking ready to grab my legs and never let go. One old man drops to the ground, clutching his chest and screaming murder. Somebody help. The cries sound desperate, but nobody cares. I tuck the hammer away and make my escape before anyone can grab me. Heading back to the entrance, I tell a fuming Lily, I found some seniors to carry your things. They will be here soon. Instantly, her anger completely evaporates. She looks at me with hopeful eyes, but I ignore her and step into the elevator. Back upstairs, Vivian, watching from the balcony, cannot believe her eyes. Her cowardly husband is acting completely decisive, not even flinching when that old man faked a heart attack. The way I smashed those speakers was incredibly hot. In 2 years of marriage, she has never found me this attractive. I walk in, change my shoes, put away the hammer, and wash up. Then I stare at Vivian. Reading my eyes, she stammers, "Do not maybe wait until I get back from dinner." She completely forgets to call me a loser. I lunge straight at her, and we have some very close contact. 2.5 minutes later, Vivian groans, "Loser, you got yours, but now I have to get ready all over again." How annoying. Let us divorce. "Okay," I say plainly. She gasps, "What do you mean? You get yours and then agree to a divorce. Since when do you use and discard people?" I reply, "Did you not always think I was useless? Go find someone else." I do not want to talk anymore. My body is tired. My heart is exhausted. Vivian keeps mocking me, sneering, feeling like a badass. "Let us see you do it again, loser." But she was clearly satisfied just now. Suddenly, a massive racket erupts outside. I pull the door open to find the angry seniors and Lily. All are red-faced and furious. Do not think a few boxes of fruit gets you out of paying $2,200 when total. Walter, their nearly 70-year-old leader, demands cash like he is morally right. "Fruit." "What fruit?" I asked, totally confused. "They took all my fruit downstairs, claiming you paid them with it," Lily says, crying. She assumed these seniors were the helpers I promised. She happily handed over her fruit, and they did help carry it straight to their own apartments. Once I piece together what happened, I am speechless. I never imagined one careless lie could cause such a massive mess. By now, Vivian is fully dressed, holding a stylish handbag. Standing at the door, she snaps, "Move, I am going to a party. If I am drunk around 2 a.m, call me and pick me up." I stare at her pretty face, about to ask her to stay and discuss the divorce. But she walks right past me. Clearly, she thinks my threat was a joke. "Pay up. If you do not, you are disturbing the peace and interfering with our recreation and rest. Do you understand?" Walter jabs his finger in my face, spit flying everywhere, nearly touching my nose. "I say I was going to pay you each 1,000 when, but since you want the police, let them handle it." I will wait inside. I slam the door, pull out my phone, and record. The seniors outside are furious at my attitude. They scream, curse, and pound on the door. The massive racket mixes with Lily's tearful crying. I pour a glass of juice, sit near the door, and sip it slowly and happily. Then I remember my illness. The smile slowly fades from my face. This world is just too bitter, too exhausting. Leaving early is a relief of its own. Find time to prepare for the end. Suddenly, I lose all interest in recording. I put my phone away, head to the bedroom, and collapse on the bed. I drift off to sleep in a daze. Suddenly, thump, thump, thump. The ceiling above me starts rattling rhythmically. That kid upstairs is jumping rope again. I have told them 1,000,000 times to take him downstairs, but they never listen. I check my phone. 10 p.m. Looks like it is time to grab the iron hammer again. I take the tool head up to the 7th floor and knock gently. The kid's mother opens up her face, dropping the second she sees me. "Are you here to ruin my son's practice again?" she snaps. "Jump rope is part of his gym exam." Why the sour face? Do you really have the nerve to fight with a child? I ignore her pushing past to walk straight inside. The kid is jumping. The father sits watching TV, counting the kid's jumps. He freezes when he spots me. "What are you doing here?" He stammers. "What am I doing here?" I have explained it too many times already. No point in repeating myself. I know kids today have a tough time with school, but that is no excuse to ruin your neighbor's peace. If he jumped rope outside, he could do it forever, and nobody would care. Bang. I slam my hammer right into the middle of their television screen. The screen crackles, sparks fly, and it shatters into smoking shards. Before the father can move, my hammer crashes down on the coffee table. It is tempered glass. I swing with everything I have, shattering it completely. Cups, fruit, and glass fly into the air before crashing down in a chaotic mess. It is a disaster. Without another word, I turn and walk out. The terrified kid starts crying while his parents stand there completely frozen. They are in total shock. Finally, the wife reaches for her phone to call the police. But her husband remembers my cold, calm eyes, and a sudden wave of fear hits him. Calling the cops might get them some money, but at what cost? What if I come back? That hammer shattered heavy glass easily. If it hits a human skull, they would not survive. He decides Danny can jump rope outside from now on. But the wife snaps, "Why should we listen to him?" I am not afraid. She is furious, demanding they call the cops, but her husband's warning glare shuts her up. I get back to my apartment feeling amazing. It is incredibly satisfying. A guy with nothing left to lose has absolutely nothing to fear. When you do not fear death, even a gun cannot scare you. I stay awake staring at the location pin my wife shared 4 hours ago. Deep down, I always knew there was no real love between us. We married because it made sense on paper. We used to fight over tiny details, but neither of us ever worried about affairs. I used to think it was deep mutual trust. Now I realize it was just pure indifference. Cheat, don't cheat, it made no difference. You only trust someone completely when you do not care about them. She would stay out all night going clubbing with her friends and always made me drive over to pick her up. I used to think it was pure vanity that Vivian wanted to show off. She wanted her friends to see she had an obedient, doting husband. After sitting with it for a while, I decided to file for divorce. We will split our assets. No matter her flaws, we were married, and I want to do this right. I am literally dying. So why hold a grudge? I just want to leave this world in peace with no loose ends. At 2 a.m, my phone rings on schedule. Vivian slurs, "Hey, loser, come pick me up." I am used to this. I take a cab to the bar, carry her out on my back, and track down our car in the dark parking garage. I put her in the back seat and drive us home. Back at the apartment, we go to our separate rooms. The next day, I head to work. I sit at my desk, take a few bites of breakfast, and my phone starts ringing. It is an unknown number. I answer, and a furious voice barks, "Move your car. You are parked in my spot." I am pretty sure I parked in an open space, figuring they have the wrong number. I say I think you have the wrong guy. I am in a general spot. Is your plate MB9527? Yeah, why? Then I have the right guy. That spot is mine. I reply, "Hang on. I will be right down," suddenly feeling unsure. "Hurry up, I am busy," the impatient voice snaps. A minute later, I am down at my car. A young, heavy-set guy with a huge belly is standing right there. He is standing next to a black Mercedes. Beside him, the security guard is smiling nervously. "Excuse me, were you the one who called?" I ask, swallowing the last of my breakfast. Right then, I feel a dull ache in my chest. Probably just the cancer cells waking up. "Cut the crap and move your car. This spot is mine," the fat guy barks. I look down at the painted lines. It is definitely a public spot. Since when did this space become private? I ask the guard, terrified of getting reported. He says, "Mr. David, this is an open spot, but Mr. Brandon always parks his car here. You just got here first. He would really appreciate it if you moved." I notice the spot is actually prime real estate. A massive overhead sign completely blocks the hot sun. No wonder this guy always claims it. "Isn't an open parking spot first come, first served?" I ask. As I speak, I quietly press my car remote to turn on my dash cam. The guard looks absolutely miserable. Everyone here is basically his boss, and he cannot afford to make enemies. "Could you please just move? There are plenty of other spots open." Since I seem reasonable, he tries to plead. But I am not interested. I like this spot, I tell him. I do not want to make his job hard, but I am not moving. This fat guy is really annoying me. The guy completely loses his temper. "Are you looking for trouble? You think I won't smash your car?" I smile calmly. "If you don't smash it, you are a coward." Infuriated, he pops his trunk and pulls out a heavy baseball bat, swinging it around. "Apologize right now, or I will end you." "Hurry up." My relaxed look only makes him shake with fury. "You must really want to die. Do you even know who my father is?" He thrusts his red, swollen face right in front of mine. His pimples look like they are about to burst. "Go ask your mother who your dad is," I say. "But do not blame me. I am only 27. I do not have a son your age." I light a cigarette and take a long, slow drag. Bang. He swings the bat violently. It was aiming straight for my head, but I do not even blink. Panicking, he redirects it, smashing the bat into the asphalt. The massive recoil leaves his hands stinging. Is that it? Because if so, I am going back to work. Do not smash the pavement. Concrete is tough. I flick the ash off my cigarette, looking completely unbothered. He looks like he is about to blow a fuse, his face turning a deep, angry purple. He lifts the bat and starts thrashing my car like it is my skull. The hood crumples metal dents and the glass shatters into a million tiny pieces. The guy has serious power fueled by pure, unadulterated rage. When he is finally done, he gives the door 2 hard kicks for good measure. Feeling satisfied, he wipes his brow. You are out of your league, kid. The security guard is frozen in terror. I calmly dial the police. Someone is destroying my car. Get here fast. It is a life or death situation. The station is just down the road. Within 5 minutes, 2 patrol cars pull up and 4 officers step out expecting a violent crime scene. Since I mentioned lives were in danger, they sent backup. The fat guy stays completely relaxed, nodding at them. He clearly has some local connections, otherwise he would not be this bold. Still, they cannot be too powerful. Truly powerful people would not be dealing with parking lots. The officers begin photographing the damage from every angle, keeping things strictly professional and by the book. Once finished, they ask what happened. The story is straightforward. After the questioning, an officer quietly clicks off his body camera. I know exactly what is coming next. Look, this is just a civil dispute, he says. According to Mr. Brandon, he has parked here for years without any issues. Mr. David, you took his spot. That is not right. Why don't you pay Mr. Brandon a small fee for emotional distress? Just a few hundred win and we can all move on with our day. What do you think, Mr. David? You both seem reasonable. Why fight over a few hundred when a criminal record wouldn't look good on you? His voice is smooth and gentle. So the fat guy's name is Brandon. I smile and say, thanks to Mr. Brandon for being so generous. But officer, are you familiar with this building's parking rules? I am not clear on them, he replies. He looks at me, realizing I might be trouble. He immediately shifts his tone. I ask, if you do not know the rules, how did you decide I took his spot? And who actually destroyed my car? I am standing here doing nothing. How would I get a record? Brandon claimed you insulted his family. Is his word your only evidence? Did you ask me? Did you ask the guard over there? Even if I did, that is just an insult, not stealing a parking spot. What did I do to deserve a criminal record? Exactly, Mr. David. Please don't get worked up. Officer Gavin is brand new to the force. He just graduated and lacks experience. He had good intentions and just wants to help you two settle this peacefully. Another officer steps in to calm things down. Why don't you turn that body camera back on and we will do everything strictly by the book. If I broke the law, I will face the music, pay the fines, or even take a bullet. My face is totally expressionless and ice cold, which makes the older officer visibly sweat. He knows from experience that the quietest people are always the most dangerous to handle. Meanwhile, Brandon just stands there sneering. Just wait until we get to the precinct. We will see how tough you are then. The officer opens the cruiser door to load us both in. I calmly pull out my phone. Give me a second. My recording is already uploading. I had my dash cam running the whole time, recording both the officer and Mr. Brandon. The entire conversation is on tape and counts as solid evidence, I tell them calmly. Suddenly, Brandon's face drops. Being a programmer, I always auto-upload my dash cam footage straight to the cloud. It just finished syncing, and I have 7 different email accounts saving backup copies. So relax, this footage isn't going anywhere. Now we can head to the station. I climb into the squad car on my own. The officer slides in next to me and quietly asks what brand my dash cam is and how the recording quality is. I have a copy on my phone, I say, handing it over to show him. It is 15 minutes long and he is still glued to it when we pull up. Once inside, all 4 officers and Brandon crowd around to watch. Does this count as intentional property damage? I ask them innocently. Online it says, besides paying for damages, there is jail time. Up to 3 years, right? I ask the officers like a curious kid. We just write the report. Sentencing is not our job, they stammer. The officers are visibly nervous. Their earlier attitude was a major issue, and if this clip goes viral, their careers are completely over. Brandon never realized his outburst would carry such massive consequences. He knows he is trapped. Can I please call my family? Brandon asks. Since the official questioning has not started yet, his request is approved. 10 minutes later, he walks back in with his smug attitude completely gone. If this video leaks and he gets doxxed, his precious connections will go down with him. I am sorry, Mr. David. I was just in a bad mood. I will cover all the damages. How does $1 million sound? He acts like he is filthy rich, tossing out $1 million right away. I nearly laugh. As a programmer, there is no way I am falling for such a cheap trap. Mr. Brandon, just pay the actual cost. The car was $170,000 now, around $136,000 with depreciation. The sound system inside was imported by a friend, pretty expensive, 60-some thousand. Plus, I missed work today. I earn $30,000 a month. Over 22 workdays, that is about $1,500 a day. Do you need me to see my proof of income? I asked politely. I know that accepting his million would count as extortion, a huge sum that could put me away for years. So I present a clear, itemized list. Even if the total is high, it is still totally reasonable. Nobody here is stupid. Brandon realizes he has run into a wall today. He stops trying to manipulate the officers to trap me, and we peacefully sign a settlement agreement. Brandon agrees to pay me 377,900 yuan. He transfers it on the spot. 3 seconds later, my phone buzzes with a deposit notification. I reach out and shake his hand. Pleasure doing business. He looks like he wants to squeeze my hand to dust. He grips it hard, man. That is some real anger. Just then my phone rings. I answer. What Dongshan police station? I will be there in 30 minutes. Yes, this is him, Changfeng police station. I am quite busy this morning, but I can make it by 3 this afternoon for sure. The officer handling my paperwork and Brandon both stare at me in absolute shock. What kind of job does this guy have before I can even leave 2 more stations call? Sorry, if we are all done, I will head out. I give them an apologetic smile and even nod at Brandon. Brandon looks like he is about to burst into tears, wondering what kind of psycho he crossed today. I catch a cab to Dongshan police station. The second I walk in, I hear a familiar racket from 5 old men, shouting at the top of their lungs, bursting with self-righteous anger. They grab my arm the moment they spot me. It is him, do not let him escape. He is the one who broke our speakers. The officers lead us all into a large back office. Taking down the report, the officer says we received a complaint that you used an iron mallet yesterday to smash their sound system, ruining their music time. I know that's correct. There is a small park in our neighborhood where they like to gather and dance, but they pried open the streetlight electrical box to steal power for their speakers. Besides all the seniors around there, we also have lots of toddlers playing nearby. Exposed wires are incredibly dangerous. A child was walking right past it, and I panicked thinking they would get electrocuted. It was an emergency, so I had to smash the gear. So you admit you destroyed the speakers? Yes, it was a massive hazard. Those seniors are already up in age, so if they get shocked, whatever. But we cannot let innocent children be put in harm's way. Risking kids' lives is completely heartless. Only monsters would do that. I am truly devastated by this. And the management company just lets them steal electricity. What about the power grid workers? Who knows where they are? Nobody is doing anything to fix this hazard. I put on my most deeply concerned face. Before I even finish my speech, the old folks are ready to burst. Didn't I just basically call them heartless monsters? A couple of them prepare to fake heart attacks, but they notice the cameras on the ceiling and realize everything is being recorded. They are forced to suck it up. Officer, he is lying. He just hates our music and dancing, saying we are too loud, do not believe him. He is disrespectful to seniors. One of them, Walter, finally snaps. Please stop interrupting my official report. We will investigate this fully and I will let you speak when it is your turn, the officer says, clearly exasperated. These seniors completely ignore the rules and just demand their way. The officer finally finishes taking my statement. Naturally, I framed the issue as an illegal and hazardous power tap rather than a noise dispute. The officer then turns and asks who actually rigged the wires. Immediately, they start pointing fingers with no one willing to take the blame. They even start bickering among themselves. The officer heads back to the scene with us, and sure enough, he finds the pried open street light box, complete with a rigged illegal outlet. This proves I was telling the truth. They contact the power company, and the technicians arrive to confirm that such an open-air setup is highly hazardous and prone to severe electrical shock. If it rains, the hazard multiplies. Plus, it is set low enough for small kids to touch. The seniors deny everything, but in the end, neither the utility company nor the police can do much besides issue a warning. They declare that next time, the power company will issue a heavy fine and police will lock up offenders for at least 15 days. Once they pack up and leave, I flash a winning grin. Dealing with these old troublemakers is too easy. By midday, I head home to whip up lunch, keeping my budget-friendly habits. My wife Vivian is completely passed out. Whenever she overdoes the alcohol, she sleeps until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Ever since she got fired, she gave up on career life completely and stayed home. I walk to the kitchen to boil some noodles before heading out. Smells great. Vivian wakes up, spots the food, and sits right down without even washing her hands. Loser. You cannot even pass me chopsticks, expecting me to eat with my bare hands. I grab a clean pair and hand them over. I did not make this for you, I note. Oh, please. Skipping work to butter me up with noodles? Spit it out. Do you want a bigger allowance? I want a divorce, I say. Vivian laughs dryly. She digs in while I cook another bowl. We eat in silence. Clearing up, I bring up the divorce again. You serious? Did you take some bad meds? She asks, realizing I am not joking. I open the bedroom drawer, pull out my medical files, and turn to the latest report. The doctor diagnosed me with advanced lung cancer, giving me 6 months to live. Vivian stares at the medical page, completely stunned. She cannot believe her eyes. A few long minutes tick by before she breaks down in tears, so she actually does care, even just a tiny bit. I feel tears welling up too, and my defenses start to dissolve. Suddenly, Vivian throws her arms around me, hugging me tightly. I am so sorry, honey. I should have cared more. My eyes sting with tears. It is fine. At this point, what does an apology even change? Do we really have to split up? She asks, looking up with tear-filled eyes. Yes. I am selling the house and car. Half goes to my dad for retirement and you get the rest. It will be easier for you to start over. If I die and leave you as a widow, people will gossip. I am not divorcing you, she snaps. Suit yourself, but I need to head to the police station. Why are you going there? Vivian stares, wondering if the cancer spread to my brain. You cannot drive the car anyway. Someone trashed it, and it is at the repair shop. Her head is spinning police stations and broken cars. She cannot keep up. I arrive back at Changfeng Police Station. The desk officer checks his watch. Mr. David, the other side is not here yet, so let us take your statement first. I nod. Apparently, someone filed a complaint. So near Changfeng Park, you stole their phone and your face is on camera. Is that true? I just explained what really happened. I walked out of the hospital. Passed Changfeng Park, saw a roadside bench and sat down to rest. Then the phone rang. That is when I noticed it sitting on the bench. The caller immediately accused me of theft and demanded I bring it to them. Obviously, I was not going to play delivery boy. I placed it back down. What happened after? I have no clue. The two officers taking my statement trade. Suspicious glances, clearly thinking I am lying but unable to prove it. Anything else? If not, I need to get to work. No, but please wait another 10 minutes. The reporting party might be running late. I check my watch, getting impatient. The meeting was set for 3. Why did you not tell them to arrive earlier? We told them. 2:50, the officer explains. Fine. 10 more minutes. Looking at the officer's helpless face, I feel a twinge of sympathy. Thanks for understanding, Mr. David. If we beat cops met more decent citizens like you, we would live 10 years longer on average. Their opinion of me shoots up several notches. Knowing I have a steady job, a house, and a car, they are basically convinced I am being set up. By 3:40, the accuser still has not shown up, so the officers walk me to the door. I arrive at the office, barely sit down, and my phone rings. Mr. David, the reporting party is here. Could you come back to the station? I have to work. All right, sorry to bother you. Just before hanging up, I hear a shrill voice screaming in the background. You all heard him. He is the thief. He stole my phone. That is why he will not face me. Arrest him. Did you cops grow up eating garbage? Go get him or I will end you. I almost laugh about calling cops garbage eaters and threatening their lives. This woman is a once-in-a-100-year specimen. After hanging up, I head to the conference room to ask my manager for leave. The second I mention wanting time off, everyone stares. Our project has a tight deadline. What kind of leave, annual leave? I have not taken any in 3 years. I have 21 days saved, including weekends. I can be gone for exactly 1 month. My project manager is furious. You are the lead developer. If you leave now, the entire project falls behind. I have always treated you well. Marcus is right. He has fought the bosses to get me raises. I do not want to hide the truth anymore. I have cancer, late-stage lung cancer. The doctor says I have 6 months, maybe 3 if it spreads. After I use up my annual leave, I will resign. My words shock them even more than the resignation itself. We have been great colleagues. From here on, eat well, enjoy life, and I wish you less overtime and better raises. Oh, and try not to smoke. I smile, but it is heavy with sadness, and the room goes dead silent. Marcus quietly takes me off the active development roster, and I begin drafting handover documentation. I want to finish strong. This company has been good to me. The new boss is arriving today. Are you heading to the meeting? A coworker asks. No, I am writing handover documentation. 2 hours later, Vivian calls. Honey, I am picking you up from work. I am surprised. This is the first time she has ever done this. I simply say, okay, pack up my laptop and prepare to head out. Suddenly, a stranger walks into our department, his eyes locking onto mine. You must be David. I am stunned. Who is this guy? I answer politely. Yes, I am David. I am Trevor. You missed the department meeting, did you not? It hits me instantly. He is the new department head. Do you have a moment? I want to discuss why the last project was delayed for over a month? I have spoken with everyone else on the team, just not you. I offer an apologetic smile. Sorry, I have to take care of some personal business today. I need to get home with my wife. Trevor's expression darkens. Before arriving, he had researched everyone's skills and personality. The file on me said I am technically brilliant, yet quiet and weak-willed. His voice booms clearly, aiming to make an impression on the whole room. It is still working hours. I do not care about your personal life. You are staying to discuss work. Everyone looks up from their desks, staring at Trevor with concern for me. I get his game. The new boss wants to throw his weight around and make an example of me. What are our official working hours here, I ask. Trevor has already checked. Company policy states a 9 a.m. start and a 6 p.m. finish. It is only 5:45 right now. How many years have you been here if you do not even know the working hours? Trevor's voice rises again, laced with growing anger. Marcus steps in to de-escalate. Mr. Trevor David's not feeling well, and his wife is waiting downstairs. Trevor glares at Marcus. Fine. For Marcus's sake, I will let it go. Now follow me into the conference room to discuss why the project fell behind. I sling my laptop bag over my shoulder, text Vivian to give me a few minutes, and follow him inside. We sit down, and I pull out my phone, silence it, and place it on the table. Trevor watches this, looking satisfied. When you are in a meeting, act like it, he says. I do not know why you skipped the General Assembly today. First time I will let it slide. Next time attendance is mandatory. I reply, Mr. Trevor, did you not bring me in here to ask why the project got delayed? Trevor is clearly caught off guard by my directness. He asks, why was it delayed? Then project schedules depend on workload, which is estimated from the requirements. Go compare the original project scope with the final product requirements. The cause of the delay is completely obvious, is it not? For something so basic, do you really need to interrogate the entire team? Is that not just wasting company resources? My bluntness leaves Trevor totally stunned. I am basically calling out his lack of basic management skills. Without waiting for his reply, I glance at my phone. It is exactly 6 o'clock. Mr. Trevor, it is 6. I am heading out. Goodbye. With that, I grab my laptop bag and pull open the door. I stride out with my head held high, leaving Trevor staring at my back. He is absolutely shaking with fury, his lips trembling. Throughout his entire career, he has never encountered anyone so openly defiant and completely disrespectful of his authority. He charges out of the room, determined to drag me back and tear into me. But I am already stepping into the elevator. As he approaches, I offer a polite wave and a grin. That smile cuts deep, leaving him thoroughly humiliated. David is getting fired. Trevor fumes, utterly livid. Since our car is still in the shop, Vivian and I end up taking the bus home together. It is our first time riding one as a couple. I'm sitting by the window when an elderly woman boards approaches me and demands I want this seat. I freeze, assuming the bus is packed, and prepare to stand up. But then I notice plenty of open spots nearby. I stay put and point them out. There are free seats right over there. Get up. What is wrong with you, young man? I told you to move, and you are arguing. Those seats are not by the window. I do not like them. Hurry up. I cannot keep my balance. I do not know how this driver got a license, swaying us all over. She is clutching a plastic bag with a few apples inside, holding onto a handrail with the other. Honestly, she looks perfectly healthy and nimble. I usually give up my seat without a second thought. After sitting at a desk all day, standing actually feels good. Maybe she just wants to watch the scenery. I am about to get up and let her have it, when suddenly she whacks me right on the head with her plastic bag, not moving fast enough. Another one. Her face is flushed red. I am stunned. This woman actually hit me. There are heavy apples in that bag, and my head is throbbing with a dull ache. Talk about terrible luck. Lately, even swallowing water feels difficult. I just keep running into weirdos. It has to be a streak of bad luck. But honestly, I am not entirely sure if it is bad, because she did not hit me that hard. Sure, the apples stung, but strangely, the pressure actually felt decent. As a software developer, I stare at monitors all day, leaving my neck and shoulders completely stiff. Getting hit feels oddly satisfying, almost like a deep tissue massage. Since you are so tough, I am keeping my seat. You do not hit very hard anyway, I mutter casually, then pull out my phone to read a novel. This absolutely triggers her. She lifts the bag and swings for my head again. I lean out of the way, and her bag slams directly into my back instead. She hits me with much more force this time, swinging repeatedly. The blows land squarely on my back, and honestly, the heavy thuds feel amazing on my sore muscles. Meanwhile, she starts screaming a stream of absolute filth. I just pull out my earbuds, pop them in, and put on some music, even humming along to the rhythm. This pushes her completely over the edge. She is practically smoking with rage as she swings that bag at my back repeatedly. I'm actually feeling quite grateful for the free massage. Eventually, other passengers cannot bear to watch anymore. Ma'am, take my seat. Stop hitting him. He is not even fighting back. Another window seat is occupied by a student, and the young man offers to let her have it. Mind your own business. I am teaching this disrespectful trash a lesson today. I am doing the job his parents failed to do. Traditional values are dead because of people just like before the old lady screeches at him, panting heavily. She grips her bag with both hands, ready to slam me again. The student angrily points out that I never fought back or said a single word. What else do you want? Say another word, and I'll smack you too. Once she gets going, she loses all sanity and attacks anyone in sight. The kid looks hurt. He clearly hasn't been beaten down by society yet. He can't handle even this little bit, his eyes already welling up with tears. Looking out the window, I see my stop approaching and stand up. I flash the old lady a wicked grin. You've got some decent power in those swings. Those hits to my shoulder felt amazing. Better than a spa massage, thanks. That pushes her over the edge. Gripping her bag with both hands, she raises it high, ready to deliver a blow I'd never forget. The bus slows, pulling into the stop. Clutching the bag with both hands, she isn't holding on to any safety rail. The sudden braking sends her pitching forward. With nothing to grab inertia, launches her toward the front. Her head smacks hard against the corner of a seat. Her eyes roll back and she blacks out. I barely register what happened as the doors slide open. Vivian and I quickly step off. I faintly hear gasps from inside the bus, but we don't look back. After grabbing groceries, we head home. She offers to cook. It is the first time in 3 years, and even though she burns everything and I have to remake every single dish, the gesture still touches me. After dinner, she insists on washing up. But after she smashes several plates, I quietly clean up the kitchen. Then I tell her I printed out the divorce terms. If you're fine with it, sign it, and we will go to the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow. Outside, the usual square dance music is completely silent. No kids are jumping rope upstairs either. The whole apartment feels incredibly quiet. Vivian looks over the agreement. Since I've already signed, she slowly writes her name and smiles. My handwriting isn't nearly as nice as yours. I smile back. Of course, as long as the person is good. We sit on the couch and turn on the TV, watching late into the night. Suddenly, tears stream down Vivian's face. She breaks down, sobbing. Can we please not get a divorce? She begs. Time for bed, I reply. The next morning, we take our agreement to the Civil Affairs Bureau. We hand over our marriage certificates to the clerk. Those bright red booklets are taken away. They are replaced by deep red divorce certificates. The red of the divorce papers is noticeably darker than the marriage booklets. I head straight back to my office desk, planning to finish writing my transition handover. Right then, Sophie, the department secretary, walks over to announce a meeting. Everyone pauses their work, filing into the conference room in small groups. Trevor is seated at the head of the table with a very tense, serious expression. People enter chatting and laughing, but the moment they spot Trevor, they sense something is wrong. They instantly fall silent. The room's atmosphere turns heavy. I quietly slip into a corner seat. For meetings like this, I always aim for the most invisible spot. Trevor clears his throat twice. Yesterday, I reviewed the entire department's progress and spoke with key project developers. The vast majority of our employees take their work seriously. They act professionally. I am proud to work with such excellent colleagues. But a small handful of people slack off, act irresponsibly, refuse to reflect when projects get delayed, and excel only at making excuses. They arrive late and sneak out early. These people are the bad apples of this company. Who are they? The data makes it clear. Trevor projects his laptop screen onto the conference room wall, showing our keycard access records. The screen displays a list of late arrivals. The company doesn't actually have a formal attendance system. Especially in the development department, nobody tracks hours. This data was just pulled from when employees swiped in, and the name sitting at the absolute top of that late list is mine. Last month, I was not only late frequently, but I also had 0 swipe records for half of the working days. David, how do you explain this? Trevor demands publicly. I stare at him like he is an absolute idiot. Explain why you have so many late arrivals and several days with no swipes. That is outright absenteeism. Under company policy, more than 3 absences is grounds for immediate termination. I stand up. So you are saying all of our previous leaders were complete idiots because I had this many absences and none of them ever fired me. Is that right? Trevor's neck turns red, blood rushing to his face. Under the fluorescent lights, his forehead glistens. He had planned to use me to assert his authority. Seeing me stand up to him like this leaves him with no way to save face in front of everyone. He nearly loses his composure on the spot. I don't care how previous management handled this. Under my watch, this will not fly. I will give you one last chance to explain yourself publicly. If you cannot clear this up, you are fired on the spot. Trevor inhales deeply, suppressing his rage. I sit back down, completely silent. My expression says it all. I can't be bothered to explain anything to an idiot. David, you are fired. Pack your things and get out, Mr. Trevor. If you are firing me, I still need a termination letter. Thanks, I reply calmly, driving Trevor even madder. Sophie whispers a few quick words to him, then announces the meeting is adjourned. I ignore the curious, searching stares from my coworkers. Heading back, I open my laptop log into our development account and pull up the codebase. I quickly screenshot my commit history from the past year, save the files, and export the logs directly to my personal email. 15 minutes later, an HR representative comes over to notify me of my termination. She hands me the paper to sign. The stated reason for my firing is that over the past year, I had accumulated 51 days of unexcused absences. The notice is in duplicate, so I signed both copies. Once the HR rep stamps them, I pack up my desk and walk straight out of the building. As soon as I get home, I flip open my laptop and download the screenshots of my code. Commits. I take a quick photo of the termination letter, with my phone upload it to my computer and begin drafting an email. My name is David. I was fired today. The reason given is absenteeism claiming 51 days of absence over the past year. The company determines whether an employee came to work based strictly on keycard swipes. However, I actually have 51 days of working time with no swipe records because I was working overtime continuously, never leaving the office. Attached are my server commit records, which clearly show my upload times. Some are at 2 a.m., others at 11 p.m. Since the code server is kept physically inside the company and isolated from external networks, it is impossible to commit code from home. The IP addresses used are all from within the corporate network. After presenting the facts, I make zero demands. I send this email straight to the HR director and the staff member handling my exit. Once it is sent, I feel a sudden lightness in my chest. I lie flat on the couch staring up at the ceiling light. It's switched off, dull and lifeless like a cold corpse. My newly ex-wife Vivian isn't home. I don't know if she went back to her parents' place. Once the tight feeling in my chest fades, I pull out 7 or 8 prescription bottles from the hospital, shake out the correct doses, toss them in my mouth, and swallow them with water. The sugar coating leaves a faint sweetness on my tongue. Even swallowing pills has its sweet side, much like life, where sweetness is often wrapped around the bitter. Suddenly my phone rings. It is HR calling. The young woman's voice sounds hesitant. David, our director, read your email. Could you come back in? I'm not feeling well. I'm taking a trip out of town to clear my head. I won't be coming back. Well, the thing is, the decision to fire you was a bit rushed. No severance was discussed, so we want you to come sign a compensation agreement. No need. I already forwarded the relevant documents to a law firm. I am signing a representation agreement with them soon. I'll just have my attorney handle the negotiations. Silence stretches over the line. Finally, the HR girl says, "How about you wait a moment and let me update our leadership on your situation?" Sure, of course, I never actually contacted a law firm. It is a bluff. My goal isn't just to squeeze Trevor, but to fight for compensation for myself and the rest of my team. There are 7 development teams here, and we all get along great. I don't love or hate Trevor. I'm just doing this to make sure he understands that bosses and subordinates each have their proper place. Don't think being the boss means you can walk all over people. Less than 10 minutes pass before the HR girl calls back. Whatever you want, just tell us directly. There is no need for a lawyer. Our company management says they will do their absolute best to accommodate you. First, Trevor must email the entire company admitting my termination was completely wrong. Second, he must hold a development department meeting and publicly apologize to me. I will relay that. I want an answer before 6 p.m. Otherwise, I will assume you are rejecting my terms. Hanging up, a wave of relief washes over me. Feeling refreshed, I can't tell if it's the meds or this firing situation going exactly as planned. Just before 6, an unknown number calls. I answer and instantly recognize Trevor's voice. "David, it's Trevor. I owe you an apology. I made the call to fire you without understanding the whole story. I was wrong. I want to formally apologize." But when he canned me, it was public. So I tell him I want a public apology too. He says, I've already undone your termination. I hope you'll come back. I reply, I already have a new job. Forget it. An apology rejected, since it wasn't public. With that, I hang up. Trevor is so furious, he nearly crushes his phone. He thinks, you want to quit fine, but you're deliberately provoking me, digging a hole for me. Programmers like you are a disgrace. A public apology is out of the question. He's been at this company less than a week. Publicly groveling to a subordinate would kill his authority. How could he lead a team? Still, he made that call right before the HR director. He knew if he didn't, I'd expose everything, ruining the firm's reputation. David won't accept it, Trevor tells her. What are his terms? The HR director asks. Trevor hesitates for a few minutes, then finally relays my demand. He wants a public apology. The HR director is no fool. She sees Trevor's trap. They negotiate for a long time before finally hashing out an agreement. I'd resign for personal reasons. In exchange, the company thanks me for my service and cuts a check for 12 months' salary. That's the absolute limit HR can authorize. They literally couldn't offer more. It was their best option. If a lawsuit exploded, there was no telling how bad the fallout would be. By the time HR notifies me, it's past 9 in the evening. Fine, I'll sign tomorrow, I say. I gladly agree. My pre-tax salary is $30,000 a month, so 12 months equals $360,000. Classified as legal damages, it's entirely tax-free. A nice, unexpected windfall. At 11 p.m., the front door swings open. Vivian walks in, her eyes red swollen and her face puffy. She says I'm heading back to my hometown. If buyers visit the apartment, you deal with them. Don't go below $6 million. How long will you be gone? A month. Since she's unemployed and I just got fired, I wire her another $160,000. This is car settlement money. I'm splitting it with you. Going forward, don't throw cash around and stay away from those sketchy investment schemes. I can't help you find a job, so sell this place quickly or you'll go broke. Suddenly, Vivian throws her arms around the man she labeled a loser for 3 years. She buries her face in my chest and weeps. She's stunning and could easily land a wealthy guy, but nobody will ever treat her like I do. And I'm terminally ill with less than 6 months left. We're already divorced, yet here I am, worrying about her future and her empty pockets. Vivian clings to me tightly as if gripping the most precious thing in her life, realizing its worth only at the brink of loss. Next day, HR wipes my termination process as a standard resignation and has finance wire me an extra 13.5 months of pay. That includes back wages, a month of cashed-out vacation, and 12 months of severance. Suddenly, I've got over $400,000 in my account. But I feel no joy. Beside life and death, everything is trivial. My cancer weighs on my heart like a boulder. I grab my repaired car from the dealership and text Vivian car's fixed. Driving to my hometown to spend a month there. I head home to pack some clothes, surprised to find Vivian still in the apartment. As she watches me, she feels a heavy wave of guilt. She shopped monthly while I hadn't bought a single thread since our wedding, still wearing 3-year-old clothes. By the time I finish packing, Vivian has set up a massive feast. Don't worry, I ordered takeout, she says, knowing her cooking is terrible. Seeing the late hour and all this food, she worries about my health, hoping I'll wait until morning. I used to take a 5-hour bus ride back. In my village, saving up to buy a car and driving it home is a massive badge of honor. My parents always dreamed I'd do that. But I was young, stubborn, and mocked their vanity. Then a year ago, my mother passed away, shattering my world. It became an ache in my chest, a regret I can never undo. That's why I'd gladly brave an exhausting 5-hour drive now. The next morning I wake up to find fried eggs, milk, and bread on the table. Vivian's in the kitchen wearing an apron. You made this. Yeah, eat up. You have a long drive ahead. I don't say a word, just quietly eat. I notice my packed clothes are neatly folded in a plastic bag. I load it into the trunk. Opening the door, I find drinks and snacks neatly laid out on the passenger seat. Snacks for the road. Pull over if you get tired, she says. That's really thoughtful, I tell her, starting the engine, giving her a wave. I roll into the soft morning sunlight heading home. My father Donald is a security guard in town, but I bypass him driving straight to our 2-story village house. We rebuilt it, but after Mom died, Dad barely visited. Parking outside, I realized the city was just a flat. This is my true home. Forgot my keys, though, so I grab incense candles, some paper money, and 2 bottles of liquor, then trek up the hill to Mom's grave. The grass is thick and green. Locally, they say good souls rest under lush grass. So during burials, mourners often transplant sod onto the mound. But Mom told me she didn't want that. I set down 3 small cups of liquor, placed them before her grave, and kneel. Raising my head, tears stream down my face. I light the paper money and pour the remaining liquor. Pale blue flames flicker, turning the paper to ash. I stay on my knees until my legs go entirely numb, then sit beside her. It feels like childhood when she'd do needlework while I sat on a tiny stool listening to her gossip. Mom promised she'd help raise my future kids. She lied, left me alone before I could even have a family. The city is a lonely place, but here beside her I find peace. Mom, I'll be joining you soon, whenever I visited before it was temporary. This time I know in 6 months I'm staying for good. I want my resting place right next to hers. It's my final wish. Leaving her grave and entering the village, the chief tells me my cousin was nearly assaulted. I race to my uncle's house. Only Lucy is home. I remember her with braided hair, baby fat, and rosy, lively cheeks. But now her hair is a tangled mess, her face pale, her cheeks hollow. She looks like a ghost even more than I do. At my knock, she panics. Only after peeking through the crack and seeing me does she open up. Lucy, look, I brought you snacks. She reacts at a crawl. 10 seconds pass before she quietly shakes her head. My heart breaks. My little sister, who trailed me everywhere as a kid, broken like this. Soon my uncle and aunt return holding farm tools. Seeing Lucy shrinking away, they just sigh. I don't dare ask her myself, so I pull Uncle aside. A bastard attacked her at school, he whispers. Tore her clothes in the dorms. 4 girls were in there, 3 paralyzed with fear. If a teacher hadn't walked by... What about the police? I ask. They grabbed him but let him go instantly. His family got some hospital note claiming he's depressed and mentally ill, so it's not a crime. Auntie spits bitterly as she grinds her teeth. Lucy's too terrified to return to class, waking up screaming every night. I get it, I tell them. Send her back next week. Don't worry. Auntie let me transfer you 10,000 yen. Buy some decent food. Lucy is skeletal. I used to think nobody but my dad mattered anymore, but seeing her like this hurts. Turns out I still have reasons to care. At dawn, I drive to see my dad for a brief chat, then head to Lucy's school. It's actually my old alma mater. I excelled here, landing a top university slot as the 5th-ranked student in the county. I owe my teachers everything, but this isn't a friendly reunion. Walking into the principal's office, I set 2 premium bottles of liquor on his desk. Principal Morgan, good to see you. I'm David. Haven't visited my old school in ages, just wanted to stop by. Principal Morgan smiles smoothly, nudging the bottles out of sight. He knows exactly how expensive they are. It costs thousands a bottle, and a returning student definitely wants something. After some small talk, I get straight to the point. I have a cousin named Lucy in sophomore class 3. She was harassed at school by Wesley. He almost assaulted her. Principal Morgan's face changes. He stands up and closes the door, sighing. I know about Lucy's situation. Wesley climbed over the wall into the girls' dormitory and snuck inside. We reported it too, but Wesley's family has a medical certificate and records proving he has a mental illness and severe depression. In cases like this, the police are powerless. Does the school have copies of those certificates, I ask? Yes, we do. If you don't believe me, I will have them brought right over. Principal Morgan makes a quick call giving instructions. A secretary brings in a stack of files and he hands them to me. The papers clearly prove Wesley has mental illness and severe depression. Got it. Thank you, Principal Morgan. Just one question. Why hasn't he been expelled? He has depression. If we expel him and something happens, the school cannot take on that responsibility. I laugh. So Wesley's father Wallace donates lots of money and the school wants to keep him happy. Fine. I will just handle this my own way. I take photos of the files and head to a villa less than 200 meters from school. This is Wesley's home, not just ridiculously expensive, but highly exclusive. A housekeeper opens the door. I am David. I am here to see Wesley's parents, I say politely. She goes inside and soon a wealthy-looking middle-aged woman walks out. Hello, I am Wesley's mother. Are you a teacher from his school? I smile. I am Lucy's cousin. The woman looks confused. Your son Wesley tried to assault my cousin at school. Seeing that she does not even know Lucy's name makes my heart ache. Rich families ruin lives without even knowing their names. Mr. David, you must be joking. My son would never do that. It was just his condition acting up. Of course, if we fell short in some way, how much compensation do you want? Name a number. Mr. David. She sounds incredibly casual, her words airtight. I do not want money. I want Wesley to withdraw. From school, never to show his face at County High again. Who do you think you are telling me to leave? You think I won't kill you. An arrogant voice suddenly interrupts. I do not even have to guess. Wesley is home. I turn and stare at him, burning his face into my memory. Wesley takes 2 steps toward me. What are you looking at? I have a medical certificate. Mentally ill people can get away with murder, let alone a little assault. I had my eye on Lucy for a long time. She got away last time, but she won't escape again. The girl wouldn't cooperate and even dared to fight back. I ignore Wesley, refusing to get angry at his vile words. I look calmly at his mother, asking one last time, "Will you agree to withdraw him from school?" The woman frowns. My son has some issues, but leaving school is out of the question. I stand up. Goodbye. Don't leave. I will kill you. Wesley yells, completely out of control. As I step outside, I can still hear Wesley screaming behind me. I can call some guys to cripple him. He dares to come here and act tough. I find a print shop, print the photos, and buy a dozen sheets of thick craft paper. Then I hit a hardware store for red paint. I record some audio and buy a giant loudspeaker. Everything is ready. The next morning, I arrive early at the school gate and unroll my massive craft paper banner. Blood red paint are huge words. For money, the school disregards the safety of students and teachers, letting a dangerous, mentally ill student attend class. Next, I pull out hundreds of leaflets and hand them to everyone passing by. Then I blast the high-volume loudspeaker. It is louder than a concert sound system echoing across the entire campus. Attention students and teachers. Wesley of sophomore class 7 is a mentally ill patient who could commit murder at any moment. Since he cannot be prosecuted, please protect yourselves. Wear safety helmets to class. My booming voice reaches every student during morning reading. In his classroom, Wesley curses furiously, screaming that he will kill me. Hearing my broadcast along with his violent, completely unhinged reaction, many students panic, especially Wesley's classmates. The boarders are stuck, but the day students start walking out of their classrooms one by one. I broadcast for 20 minutes, then turn it off. Once most of the leaflets are gone, I change the audio track load, the player and the loudspeaker into my car, and drive slowly through the city streets heading toward the Education Bureau, blasting the message along the way. At County High, sophomore class, 7 student Wesley is a mentally ill patient. He could commit violence at any time. The school protects him for money. Soon I park right in front of the Education Bureau, playing the recording on a loop. A staff member rushes out begging me to stop. I hand over my complaint files to the Bureau and warn them, if Wesley is still in school in 2 days, I am taking this to the Municipal Bureau for your inaction and posting everything online. Before long, dozens of furious parents show up to protest at the school, and the Bureau guaranteeing a massive scandal if this is not handled quickly. The Bureau acts fast. Before 10 a.m., they dispatch officials to the high school. By noon, the school cafeteria loudspeaker makes an announcement. Upon investigation, Wesley of sophomore class 7 is unfit to continue his studies due to serious illness. He is hereby withdrawn. Wesley is taken home by his mother, screaming the entire way. What is his name? I will have him killed. Wesley grits his teeth, consumed by how I humiliated him in front of his entire class. He wants me dead. Furious but unable to vent at his mother, he kicks the front door repeatedly. Suddenly, sirens wail outside. Several police officers and doctors arrive at the villa. His mother, Jenna, senses something is wrong. Who are you here for? We received a report that a resident named Wesley suffers from severe mental illness and schizophrenic symptoms. In this state, he could attack anyone. He is not fit for home recovery and must receive professional treatment, the lead doctor says. Jenna immediately snaps back. No such thing. My son is perfectly normal. Sorry, ma'am, but based on the details provided, we checked the psychiatric hospital records. Your son's condition is highly critical. Hiding it is dangerous for everyone. If you do not cooperate, we will ask the court to revoke your guardianship. The officer speaks sternly. Wesley sees the police and is not scared at all. Cops have visited him before, and they were always polite. I am Wesley. What do you want? He says calmly. The officers cuff him, and he kicks wildly. Are you crazy? Why are you arresting me for... The patient's condition is severe. He is having an acute episode, the doctor explains. Several officers and orderlies pin Wesley down. A nurse pulls out a syringe and jabs him. Wesley lets out a series of shaking screams and curses. Even as the sedative is injected, he struggles violently. I am not sick. I will kill you all. The doctor has Wesley strapped down tightly to a stretcher. Please sign here. The doctor hands Jenna a clipboard. She is so furious her hands shake, taking a long time to sign. Meanwhile, at the mental health center, Director Lawrence is the chief physician of the psychiatric hospital. He is the one who fabricated Wesley's diagnosis. I go straight to him and say one simple thing. His medical file has only symptoms, no prescriptions, no treatment history. All I have to do is expose this and you go to prison. Later, Wesley spots Director Lawrence and thinks he is saved. Uncle Lawrence, let me go. You know I am not sick. Director Lawrence pulls out a pen and writes rapidly. Seeing him, Wesley panics. Uncle Lawrence, my parents paid you. to write that fake certificate. You know I am normal. I do not have a mental illness. Say something. What are you doing? Director Lawrence turns to the staff and says, the patient has mild hallucinations and extreme aggression. Start him on a full course of treatment. Wesley explodes. Lawrence, you dead man. When I get out of here, I will kill you. My dad won't let you off. Lawrence commands begin treatment immediately. Postpone all other patients. Wesley is dragged into the treatment room. Only faint, muffled screams escape. Even actual psychiatric patients dread this place, let alone a normal kid. The primary therapy here is electroshock. After 30 minutes of ECT, Wesley's styled hair is pointing straight up in a bizarre static shock. While his hair looks energetic, his body is slumped, defeated, and completely silent. A nurse approaches with his medication. Few patients take their pills willingly, and Wesley is no exception. 2 burly orderlies step forward with menacing looks. If you do not want another round of shocks, take your medicine like a good boy, the nurse. This was a blatant threat. Wesley was shaking. The thought of shock therapy terrified him. He gulped down 7 or 8 pills without hesitating. Still not satisfied, the nurse forced him to drink. She checked his mouth to ensure nothing was hidden under his tongue. Wesley thought the worst was over, but this was just the start. New patients always get restrained early on. He was half strapped to a bed, barely able to move. His head could only turn a fraction. When he glanced toward the window, he saw my face wearing the most smug, obnoxious grin I could muster. I curled my finger, beckoning him. Wesley, spoiled and used to getting his way, instantly lost it. He snapped, yelling, "Damn it, who the hell are you? When I get out, I will kill your entire family." He kicked furiously as he screamed, but with his limbs tied down, his heels only made heavy, dull thuds against the mattress. Hearing the commotion, the nurse outside quickly alerted the chief doctor. Severe condition. Increase the shock dosage, the doctor ordered. 2 strong orderlies marched in and wheeled Wesley's bed toward the treatment room. Wesley immediately realized he had been set up again and shook with fear. He fought with everything he had to sit up, but the orderlies pinned him down. Meanwhile, Jenna rushed into the hospital. Seeing her son handled so brutally, she charged forward to shove the nurses aside. "Please, do not interfere with our normal treatment," a doctor warned. "What treatment?" "My son is not sick," Jenna screamed. "Electroshock therapy is our standard procedure for emotionally unstable patients." "You are shocking my son." "Yes, the first session showed little progress, so we increased the dose," the doctor explained, keeping his tone mild and patient with her. Heartbroken and furious, Jenna lost it. "Stop this right now. I am filing a complaint. This is murder," she screamed. Staying calm, the doctor called for security, and several guards approached and glared at Jenna coldly. "Keep causing a scene, and we will diagnose you with schizophrenia. Your son's symptoms might easily be inherited," the doctor said. "This is a psychiatric facility, not a normal hospital. Psychiatric hospitals do not fear medical disputes. Push them too far, and they will just diagnose you with schizophrenia and put you on the shock table. Protest, and they increase the dose." Jenna shut up instantly, choking back her agonizing distress. Hearing the muffled screams from the treatment room, she grit her teeth and called Director Lawrence. "I am busy waiting room 703, he muttered, avoiding her questions. Jenna waited 30 minutes before he appeared, closing the door and lowering his voice to warn her. "We must treat your son as a psychiatric patient or we all go to prison. That guy David is always lurking around here. If he catches us doing anything wrong, this is going to explode." Jenna felt deep regret. If she had just let him transfer schools, none of this would have happened. "Thank you. I will work things out with Wallace." "Remember to pay the medical fees," Director Lawrence reminded her. The audacity nearly made her spit blood. She was paying to torture her own son. Meanwhile, in Wallace's office, Wallace had just finished a meeting when Jenna called. "Find a way to silence David. Either pay him off or terrify him." Wallace laughed. "Extort money from me. Doesn't he know who I am?" "When I get Wallace's invitation, I am killing time on my phone at a hotel. I do not hesitate and follow his underling. When I arrive, nobody stands to greet me. They all just stare, trying to intimidate me with their glares. I completely ignore their hostility. Spotting an empty chair, I sit right down, scanning the room to size them up. The man beside me is Wallace, and a tattooed thug stands nearby for pure intimidation. The brute barks, "Bro liquor or beer." I glance at the bottles. "Mr. Wallace brought me here to talk business, not to drink." He slams his hand on the table. "You clearly don't know your place." "Who said you could sit?" I ask coldly. "Which one of you is Wallace?" "Damn it, using Mr. Wallace's name, I will kill you right now." The muscle guy stands up to attack. I grab a beer bottle, smashing it hard against the table edge. Before he can react, I lunge, aiming the jagged glass straight at his face. He dodges backward in a panic, but the glass still slices his face. Blood streams. Without hesitating, I grab his hair and press the broken bottle toward his throat. "Wait," Wallace screams. I freeze the razor-sharp glass, having already broken his skin. Blood slowly seeps out, one tiny push, and the bottle will pierce his throat. The brute is trembling in terror, but Wallace is shaking even more. He had only planned this to intimidate me, never expecting to be terrified himself. He stares at my face, a face of total indifference, calm, completely indifferent to life or death, not caring about anyone else's. What is this man? Has he killed before? Wallace truly believes that if he had shouted a second later, I would have sliced the thug's throat. Terrified, he forces a wide smile. "David, let us talk this over." My voice remains cold. "Anyone else here want me dead?" Nobody dares to answer. They are used to bullying others, but none actually want to risk their lives. Finally, Wallace speaks up, pouring himself a drink. "It is my useless son who angered you, David. I will punish myself with 3 drinks. He downs them in one go. I pull the bottle away. Wallace waves his hand, sending everyone else away. He is sharp, reading my attitude quickly. He decides on option 2, offering $200,000 as compensation, 10 times his original plan. I reply simply, "Money alone is not enough. I want him to spend 6 months in the psychiatric hospital." With that, I open the door and leave. Wallace is both furious and panicked. He had planned that if I took the cash, he would report me to the police. $200,000 would lock me up for years, letting him free his son. He never expected me to be immune to threats and bribes, leaving all his schemes in the dust. Hoover's in the dust. Wallace called Jenna. The two argued on the phone, blaming each other for failing their son. After fighting for 30 minutes, Wallace shared his assessment of me, hoping Jenna could use her status to meet me. The next day I met her. She was dressed like an ordinary, middle-aged housewife returning from the market. Jenna sighed. "Mr. David, I do not know if you have children, but my son Wesley is in that asylum getting shocked, daily injected with drugs and forced to swallow pills. Real patients might tolerate them, but a normal person taking them will genuinely go crazy. As a mother, my heart is breaking." Jenna was on the verge of tears. I wasn't moved at all, pure crocodile tears. "My cousin has nightmares every night and fears going to school, all because of your disturbed son. Your son is human and your heart breaks. Are my uncle and aunt not human? Do their hearts not break? My son was wrong. We will take full responsibility. I will arrange compensation for Lucy immediately. How does 500,000 sound?" I looked at Jenna, pretending to hesitate. She felt a secret joy. Wallace offered 200,000 yesterday, and I walked so clearly the problem was simply the amount. I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table. Seeing this, Jenna assumed I feared a recording. She unlocked her phone, handed it over, and patted herself down to show she wasn't recording. I said casually, "Someone is paying me 600,000 to keep your son in there until he actually goes crazy." Jenna was shocked. Who would pay that much to harm her son? "It must be husband's side." "Make it 700,000, David. Give me your account number. I will transfer it now." "I do not need to know who hired you. Just stop. That person offering 600,000 hasn't actually paid you yet, right?" "They pay after the job is done," I replied. "And bigamy carries up to 2 years in prison under our laws. Criminals cannot serve as legal representatives of a company." At the mention of bigamy, Jenna immediately understood Wallace had another woman, and she definitely already had a child with him. Once Wesley became genuinely insane, the bulk of the family wealth would flow to this illegitimate heir. In reality, the so-called $600,000 plot to ruin Wesley was a total bluff. I only knew about the mistress. Wives and mistresses naturally despise each other, and with a small nudge, Jenna bought it completely. She immediately said, "Thank you, Mr. David." After parting ways, I drove back to my village, took Lucy to set up a bank account, and had Jenna transfer the funds. Once the cash cleared, Lucy returned to school while I headed to the psychiatric hospital to see Director Lawrence. Meanwhile, a few days later, Jenna sued Wallace for bigamy in court, providing photos of his intimacy and video of a small boy, who looks just like Wallace, calling him daddy. Wallace ends up sentenced to 2 years after handling Lucy's situation. I go to be with my father. A huge smile lights up his face when he sees I am taking him on a trip. I lie and tell him my company has a perk that lets employees take family to Port City and that I signed him up. I happily pull out the ticket with his name on it. Even though he complains it is a waste of cash, he has no choice but to come along. The next day, my dad takes time off and I drive him to my city apartment. Vivian is home. Dad, have some water, she says. She is incredibly warm, which Donald is not used to. 2 years ago, Vivian was cold and distant to her father-in-law, constantly finding fault. Back then, visiting his son's house felt more awkward to Donald than visiting a stranger. Dad, have some fruit, Vivian says, bringing a fresh plate the moment he finishes his water. She smiles, offering him a plate of washed grapes. I pull her aside and whisper, "What are you up to?" "Can I not just be nice to your dad?" she asks. "Suit yourself," I reply, letting it go. After all, keeping my father in the dark about our divorce is for the best. I take him out to buy new clothes and a new phone, which makes the old farmer extremely uncomfortable. "Son, why are you showing off? This is a huge waste of money. If we were back home, I would have spanked you by now. You are driving me crazy, and do not think I won't hit you just because you are married. I am only letting you off to respect your wife." A few days later, my father and I are on a plane, and it is his very first flight. Sitting next to me by the window, he is both excited and anxious. As the plane taxis and takes off smoothly, his nerves fade, replaced by pure excitement. With his son by his side, he is not afraid. When we are kids, home is wherever our parents are. But when they grow old, home is wherever we are. As our plane breaks through the clouds, Donald's wrinkled face lights up with a massive smile. I am one lucky man, he thinks, with a son who has made something of himself. Most folks back home have never flown yet. Here I am heading to Port City. Pride and happiness fill Donald's heart. Old folks do not ask for much, so they are easily satisfied. In under 2 hours, we touch down at Victoria Airport, offering a view of the busy harbor. My dad feels like the flight ended too soon, but I lead him along with the crowd. We grab a quick lunch and head straight to the theme park, a place packed with happy kids. "Son, you two need to have children." "I want to be a grandfather," my dad says, watching them play. "Dad, what are you talking about?" "Let's go on the rides first." I hold his hand, just like when I was small, and we try them one by one. Knowing I can never grant his wish in this lifetime makes my heart ache. "Look, Dad, they are selling Mark's 6 lottery tickets over there. Let me buy a few, maybe we will hit the jackpot." I buy 5 tickets, then spend the next few days touring around with him. In the quiet evenings, we just relax at the hotel. While chatting with Dad, the TV broadcasts the Mark 6 live draw. He cannot understand the local broadcast, so he just keeps talking about home. But when the final number is drawn, a strange feeling washes over me. I open my bag, pull out the lottery tickets, and check them a dozen times. 2 winning tickets, 1 grand prize, 1 first prize. I freeze. Fate only gave me 5 months left to live, and now it decides to let me win the lottery. Looking at the host's overly excited face on screen, I want to smash the TV. These busy days of walking have exhausted my usually healthy father, and he falls asleep quickly. But I cannot sleep a wink, feeling like I am pulling another grueling all-nighter for a work deadline. The next morning, I leave my dad at the hotel and go claim the cash. The grand prize is $120 million, and first prize is over $6 million. After taxes converted into Chinese yuan, it equals $1 billion. Looking at that cold $1 billion in my account, I feel like I am dreaming. It takes me a long time to get back to the hotel. Without even asking my dad, I take him straight to Victoria Harbor Plaza, the most luxurious mall in Port City. It is packed with high-end designer brands. As we wander around, we pass a high-end store where I spot a beautiful navy blue jacket. I ask the saleswoman to bring it down for my dad to try. She looks at me coldly and says, "This costs over $200,000. Are you sure you can afford it?" I never expected to face such snobbery in a luxury plaza. Hearing the price of over $200,000, Donald immediately backs down. "Son, I do not like this color," he says. The saleswoman smirks, clearly thinking we are broke. She watches me with amusement. "Are you so sure I cannot afford it?" I ask. "Want to bet if I can buy 10 of these right now, you cut off one of your fingers." Seeing my intense glare, she decides to push me. "I am a salesperson. I cannot gamble with customers," she sneers. "But just so you know, 10 of these cost around $270,000. Are you sure?" I tug my father's sleeve. "Dad, try these 2 on." Out fits the pants and some matching belts. Realizing she has run into a major spender, the saleswoman quickly changes her tune, putting on a professional face. She brings out multiple sets and has my dad try them on one by one. She serves him with sudden diligence, choosing clothes that fit his frame perfectly. Clothes truly make the man. Standing there, in an outfit worth nearly $500,000, my dad looks much sharper and years younger. "Dad, this looks great on you," I tell him. After looking around, we choose 5 complete outfits. The saleswoman eagerly folds them into expensive shopping bags, barely hiding her excitement. "Sir, please swipe your card," she says. Swipe. Who said anything about buying? I cannot afford these. I was only trying them on. Can people not try things on if they are broke? How ridiculous. I walk out proudly with my dad. Is that saleswoman crazy? She knew we couldn't afford it yet. She still asked for a card. My loud, confused voice drifts back. Inside, the saleswoman shakes with absolute rage, breathing heavily as her chest burns. She wants to scream but does not dare. Terrified, I will file a formal complaint. Instead, she storms into a fitting room and furiously punches and kicks a helpless mannequin. My dad and I keep exploring the mall, stopping by the food court for local Port City specialties. Afterward, Donald buys a massive pile of travel-friendly snacks to share with everyone back home. Watching him, I feel another sharp pang of sadness. I used to think that besides my dad, no one else in this world mattered. As long as he was taken care of, I could slip away without regrets. But watching him buy gifts for so many villagers, I remember how much love I received as a kid. They fed me and gave me little presents. Maybe life is just a series of debts we can never fully repay. 2 hours before our flight, I decide to buy Vivian a nice designer bag at the duty-free shop. Even though we are divorced, we were still partners once. Exhausted, I board our flight home, wondering if this was a vacation or a punishment. It felt harder than overtime. On the trip back, my ex-wife Vivian looks much happier. I take my father to a local restaurant for lunch. Dad, tomorrow I will cook for you. David hates my food and says it is terrible, but I have been practicing for a month and gotten much better, Vivian says. Great, tomorrow we will eat at home. Seeing his daughter-in-law act so sweet makes Donald incredibly happy. After lunch, Vivian and I step downstairs for a walk. What is with you? We are already divorced, so you do not need to play pretend. Honestly, the nicer you are to me, the more it freaks me out. I have an old classmate named Greg, she says. We went to school together, always close. His grandfather bought an apartment in our complex. I listen quietly, not understanding why she is changing the subject. Apparently, Greg's grandfather was diagnosed with lung cancer at least 10 years ago. The 8th hospital said he had 3 months left to live, but then their family found an old herbal doctor. Greg's grandfather still visits him every single month, and he is alive, healthy, and doing square dancing every day in the neighborhood. Vivian finally gets to the point. Are you saying that herbalists can cure lung cancer? My heart races. Nobody wants to die. He is not cured, but the disease has not spread. I have already set things up with Greg. This weekend we will visit his grandfather and ask about the doctor. A spark of hope rises in my chest. Vivian, thank you. If we can manage this illness, let us remarry. What do you think? I will think it over. If you do not want to sell the apartment, just take my name off it. Though I do not promise anything, Vivian is thrilled. The next day, she cooks 7 or 8 dishes, which taste pretty average. Donald is not picky. My mood is high, and we both eat a lot, making Vivian believe her cooking skills have actually improved. After lunch, my dad insists on heading back to the countryside. Since he bought so many gifts, he wants to hand them out immediately. I completely understand his proud, eager heart, so I drive him straight back to our village. The moment we arrive, he calls for us to unload everything. Soon my aunt and uncle arrive carrying a few chickens with Lucy following behind them. Donald proudly boasts that everything was bought during our trip to Port City. My uncle helps unpack while sharing the latest news. Lucy's high school entrance exam scores just dropped. They wanted to drop by and thank me. Ever since my mom passed away, my aunt and uncle have barely set foot in our house, so this massive spread of food has Donald pretty confused. Then Auntie lets it slip, bringing up what happened to Lucy and how I got justice by making Wesley drop out of school and undergo electroshock therapy at the psychiatric hospital. Donald listens, his heart hammering. He had absolutely no idea that so much had been going on. He had planned to take me to the county town to show off to his fellow security guards, but hearing about my clash with Wesley terrifies him. Now he wants to send me straight back to the city. I just laugh it off, telling him, Dad, go pick out a nice apartment in the county town. I have plenty of cash now. Dad is about to argue when his phone rings. He cranks the volume to maximum, suddenly remembering he hasn't shown off his new phone to my aunt and uncle yet. He makes this overly dramatic gesture of answering the call like a big boss taking a call from some low-level employee and intentionally puts it on speaker. Donald Dabayawa, I hear you are back. Uncle Conrad's voice booms through the speaker. This Uncle Conrad is a distant relative of mine, separated by several generations. I heard his son Tyler got into college a few years back. At his admission banquet, Donald gave them 100 win as a gift. Yeah, my son and I went on a week-long trip, even flew on a plane. The round trip alone cost $7,000. Donald has finally hooked another listener and immediately starts bragging about his grand adventures, expecting Conrad to turn green with envy. David hasn't left for the city yet. Has he? Good, because I'm heading right over. I need to talk to David. Conrad sounds completely unimpressed, hanging up after 2 quick sentences and leaving my dad incredibly annoyed since he didn't get to brag nearly enough. After we wait for almost an hour, Conrad finally shows up, wearing a long, miserable face. David, I finally found you. Tyler's in deep trouble again. If you don't help him, his entire life is finished. I'm taken aback. Tyler has been reckless since he was a kid. Did he get mixed up in some online loan scheme? What happened to Tyler? He was in a car accident, hit and scraped someone. He panicked and drove off, but the other driver memorized his license plate and reported it to the police. What are we going to do? Conrad is sweating bullets. Look, a hit and run is bad, no question, but if it's just a minor scrape, it shouldn't be too terrible. Just pay them off, right? Exactly, that's what I think, but they're refusing to be reasonable. Demanding Tyler go to jail. They're probably just trying to squeeze money out of us. I think to myself, just pay them. Money solves things. I actually feel a bit bad for this uncle dealing with a deadbeat son. There's nothing he can do. Uncle Conrad, if you're short on cash, I can cover it for now. He sighs. It's too late for that. The police are involved now. They called and ordered us to go to the station tomorrow. David, I'm begging you for help here. Conrad breaks down, weeping in despair. Uncle Conrad, calm down. A minor fender bender isn't going to get anyone thrown in prison, I say. Trying to comfort him. Good if he won't be locked up because Tyler's planning to take the civil servant exam, and this record would ruin his chances. So that's what my uncle is actually terrified of. I'm still willing to offer some money to make this go away since I have plenty of cash. The other family probably knows Tyler's ambitions and is using this to extort us. Exactly. That's why I need you to take the blame for him. You aren't pursuing a government career, so it won't ruin your life, Uncle Conrad pleads. I freeze. Take the fall. That is highly illegal. Why escalate a minor incident into a massive crime? If money can fix this, why would I confess to something I didn't do? That's insane. Oh, it's nothing. Just a few years behind bars, 3 to 5 at most, and you're free. No big deal. Besides, the old man is already dead, so you don't have to worry about medical bills or anything. We'll pay for that. You just take the blame. Suddenly a cold chill hits me. Wait, what do you mean the old man is dead? Did Tyler actually kill someone? You told me it was just a minor scrape. Well, the survivor was just scraped, but the other guy was older. He got hurt badly and died on the way to the clinic. Now they're blaming the car crash for his death when it was obviously the doctors who failed to save him. How is that Tyler's fault? People these days, the second they see you have a little money, they try to scam you. Of course, if Tyler hadn't had a few drinks, none of this would have happened. And those country roads are awful. The maintenance crew must be absolute garbage. They never hesitate to collect those road fees, but I never see them actually repairing the streets. If the pavement was decent, there wouldn't have been an accident at all. I honestly want to sue those road workers. Uncle Conrad's sheer audacity completely stuns me. You are telling me Tyler was drinking, drove drunk, ran over 2 people, killed one of them, and injured the other. Well, he ranked 3rd in the county on his civil service exam, so he was celebrating and had a few beers. He saw those folks and panicked. Plus, with the bad roads, that's how the accident happened. He didn't even hit them, really. They were scammers throwing themselves in front of his car. Those 2 were definitely trying to pull a fast one. What kind of people don't even step out of the way of an oncoming vehicle? It was a brand new car, and the bumper got damaged. Who knows how much those repairs are going to cost? Uncle Conrad keeps rambling on, leaving me completely speechless. What kind of twisted logic is this? He kills a person and blames them for not dodging Uncle Conrad. I say this is drunk driving. Whether he hit them directly or not, he's going to prison. Didn't he learn the basic laws when he got his driver's license? Basic laws. He's colorblind. They wouldn't even let him take the test. He failed the physical, so how would he have a license? It's pure discrimination against the visually impaired. Tyler never learned those rules, so he didn't know you can't drink and drive. Our system is way too strict and heartless. Foreign countries are much more understanding when enforcing their laws. Honestly, his mental gymnastics are on another level. Uncle Conrad, I can't help you with this. I really can't listen to another word. Terrified that if I stay, My entire worldview will shatter. Even if it doesn't break, I might end up kicking him out of the house. David, you've gotten pretty arrogant, haven't you? You won't even help family with a simple favor. We are relatives. Where is your conscience when you were a baby? I used to hold you while you peed and pooped on me, and I never complained. Now your cousin is in a jam and you turn your back. When did you become so heartless? Has college made you stupid? Didn't they teach you that family comes first? Donald talked some sense into David. You can't let your kid grow up to be this selfish. Now my dad actually steps in to persuade me too. Son, about Tyler's situation, if you can take the blame, just do it. Donald thinks the phrase, take the fall, sounds cool. I have to explain that it means at least 10 years behind bars. Instantly, Donald snaps, Conrad, your son is precious, but my son isn't. What on earth gives you the right to throw my boy into prison? Your son isn't taking the civil service exam, so why can't he just go? You won't even do this small thing for him. When real trouble strikes, you can't count on heartless relatives like you, Donald. I see you are getting arrogant too. Just because your kid finished college, my son is a college graduate too. My dad is too furious to speak. If anyone tries to ruin my son's life, I will fight them to the absolute death. Get out of my house. The two men almost start trading blows. My uncle holds Conrad back while Auntie restrains Donald. Otherwise, they would have happily thrown down to teach each other a lesson. David, please, don't take the blame, Lucy whispers, tugging gently on my shirt. She looks terrified. Suddenly, Uncle Conrad's eyes lock onto her like he's just discovered a gold mine. Lucy, how old are you now? You're in your second year of high school, right? Lucy quickly ducks behind my back. She starts her senior year this fall, taking the big college exam next year. She'll turn 18 right after and finally be an adult, Auntie brags. Around here, barely any girls even finish high school, let alone sit for the college exam. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Let Lucy take the fall. She is way better suited for this than David. She's a minor. Even if someone died, she won't face criminal charges. We just need to make this right. Lucy, come with me to Uncle Conrad's place right now. He is grinning from ear to ear. I stare at him as if he has lost his mind. Absolutely not. Lucy is not taking the blame. My uncle and aunt step in, blocking him. Lucy has school tomorrow morning. Oh, come on, you two. She's just a girl. She is going to get married off eventually anyway. Even if she goes to college, what is the point? She will just belong to another family. If Lucy takes the fall, I'll pay you $3,000 win. No, let's make it $6,000. Once she gives her statement, she goes straight back to school. It won't affect a thing. She gets straight aces anyway. A couple of days won't ruin her college chances. Conrad winces at the thought of parting with $6,000 win, muttering that he'll just pretend he threw it to the dogs. My uncle and aunt still refuse. Conrad keeps berating them for ignoring their family obligations while raising his offer. In under 10 minutes, he bumps it from $6,000 to $9,000. Finally, sounding like he is tearing out his own heart, he groans, $10,000. $10,000 max, no more. My uncle and aunt exchange looks clearly tempted by the offer. $10,000 win just for dropping by the police station to write a quick statement. Cash this easy is rare. Lucy, your college tuition is fully paid for. Let's go. You are a minor, a student, and a protected minor under the law. Don't worry, nothing bad will happen to you. Conrad gets increasingly excited as he speaks, his eyebrows dancing. He turns to sneer at Donald, boasting, See, I don't even need your son to get this sorted out. A wave of profound sadness washes over Lucy's face. I watch with a heavy heart. She is incredibly sensitive, and my aunt and uncle have always favored sons over daughters. They don't care about her feelings at all. I wonder if they will actually force Lucy to take the accident or not. This hesitation alone will ruin a young girl. I decide to help this poor kid one more time. Uncle Conrad, my phone has been recording this. If you force Lucy to take the fall, I will report you for colluding to provide false evidence. You will all face criminal charges. No one gets a free pass. Do not blame me for playing dirty uncle. I pull out my phone, waving it. Conrad leaps up, swearing, trying to grab my phone. My aunt and uncle glare furious that I ruined their easy payday. I notice Lucy weeping silently, utterly lost. Lucy, your parents want you to take the blame. Why do you not stand up to them, I ask. Her eyes look completely hollow. Brother David, do you remember our old yellow dog from when we were kids? It was always tied up. I thought it was to keep it from running off. But when the rope finally broke, that dog never ran. Maybe it knew that even if it left, nobody would care. It is the same for me. My parents only care about my brother. I am barely any better than that dog. I worry Lucy is slipping into depression, but my aunt and uncle do not care at all. To them, food and clothes are the only parental duties that matter. Lucy, go to school tomorrow. I am heading to the county town anyway, so I will drive you. I completely ignore Uncle Conrad's useless, screaming rage. Your entire family is trash, completely unreasonable. How did I end up with relatives like this? I will expose you to everyone. Let us see who wants to associate with cold-hearted snakes like you. Conrad seethes with furious anger, cursing under his breath and kicking an empty bottle off the road. I quietly add his number to my block list. Our relationship with Uncle Conrad's toxic family ends right here. Auntie is bitter about losing the 10,000 yen, but after sulking for 2 minutes, she starts helping us clean. Lucy joins in too. The house has been empty for a long time, thick with dust. Auntie cleans while nagging my father. Donald, how often does your son visit? You do not even clean. Is this how you treat my sister's memory? My mother was older than my uncle, but those two siblings were extremely close. My uncle dotes on me, his only nephew, and Auntie has always treated me like her own son. Even when she scolds my dad, I do not feel awkward. It feels warm. My aunt is a traditional countrywoman, incredibly skilled at running a household. She quickly gets the place spotless and whips up an amazing dinner. After we eat, my uncle's family heads home. It is late, and country folks sleep early. My dad, Donald, heats up water for me to wash my face and feet, telling me to get cleaned up. Dad, let me do that. Get out, he says. The kitchen is dusty from the firewood we burn for cooking. My dad cannot bear to let me do any dirty work. After washing up, I head to my room under his protective gaze. Countryside mosquitoes are brutal. The moment I lie down, my father walks in carrying a flashlight, scanning my mosquito net for bugs. He is worried I missed some, still treating his grown son like a little kid. Once the hunt is over, he gently pats my forehead out of habit, then suddenly remembers I am already fully grown. He looks down at me with pure tenderness, smiling with eyes full of pride. It was exactly like this when I was small. On hot summer nights, my parents would quietly use a flashlight to hunt for mosquitoes, feel my forehead for fever, and tuck me in. Mom is gone now, but my father's habits never changed. I lie perfectly still, reliving those childhood memories, missing my mother as tears slowly stream down my face, soaking my pillow. The next morning, I drive my dad and Lucy to the county town. Back at school, Lucy looks much happier, smiling as she waves goodbye, putting my mind at ease. She will probably be fine, no depression. After staying with my dad in town and talking to him all night, he finally agrees to buy an apartment. Dad, I already set aside the cash for the apartment, and I will cover the renovations and furniture costs too. Do not worry, just ask if you need more. I leave him 1 million yen. I cannot give him too much. After buying the apartment and furniture, not much should be left, so no one tries to take advantage of him. Once everything is settled, I drive back to the city. The highway is clear, and 3 hours later I am home. Inside, Vivian sits like a statue at the dining table, completely lost in thought. I have no idea what she is thinking, but the front door opening startles her. Greg and I agreed he will visit tomorrow morning. His grandfather loves tea, so I bought some for him. It is great for the stomach. Vivian points to a textured, deep red metal tin on the table decorated with subtle floral patterns exuding an antique elegance. I stare at it, thinking for a moment. I almost forgot. Forgot what I bought you a bag, but left it in the trunk, totally forgot to bring it up. I had picked up clothes for Dad in Port City and a purse for Vivian. Hearing the word bag, her dull eyes instantly spark. She follows me downstairs, pops the trunk, and pulls a beige handbag from the corner. Gripping it tightly, she winces. Such a beautiful designer purse, and you just toss it around. You drive me crazy, you loser. Before she can finish her rant, she remembers we are divorced, and this gift is just a gesture of goodwill. Quietly, she carries the bag back upstairs, turning on every single light in the apartment. She places the bag dead center on the table, snaps photos, and looks up the price. Suddenly, she screams, "David, did you rob a bank? This purse is over 80,000 yen. Oh my God, you absolute spendthrift. If I do not beat you to death today, heaven will never forgive me." She lunges at me, trying to throttle this wasting machine. Keep it down. Maintain your dignity. I warn her. Hearing my warning, she stops. You bought a knockoff, did you not? Yes. So now you know I did not waste money, I reply calmly. Why get so crazy over a purse when you barely blinked when I bought a car for over 100,000 yen? Her emotions do a complete flip, and she suddenly decides the bag looks cheap. How much was it? I do not remember. The receipt is inside. See for yourself. She opens the bag, finds the receipt, and shrieks, "Do you even know how to shop? You spent over $7,000 on this piece of junk." Jasmine bought one for $2,000, and Delilah's real one was only $30,000. I tell her duty-free is cheaper. She looks closer at the price tag, letting out a deafening shriek. "David, this is in US dollars, right?